Here we go. Good morning, Gavin. Excited to be here today. Awesome. We got the medal races starting this Saturday afternoon and, of course, following tomorrow afternoon. So I think there's going to be some great racing. Obviously, we're kicking off with the repechage. It's that comeback opportunity, that comeback chance for these skaters to make their way back into the top bracket.
And we'll get things going. The skaters are already out on the ice for heat number 1 of the men's 1,500 meters. Of course, there's the repechage quarterfinals. If you advance there, the repechage semifinals, and then you get into the big program this afternoon into the semis. And so, men's 1,500, there will be 6 heats. First and second from each heat move on, and then a maximum of 2 fastest third-place skaters out of 6 heats. If you're third place, it's a very small margin for error.
Yeah, there's only 6, or there is 6 heats here and only 2 advancements, so that's not a lot of opportunity. I think skaters are not going to be too focused on the time. They'll be focused on those top 2 positions.
There you see the 7 lining up on the line. There's Bergen, Van Dam, O'Brien, Berzins, Verkok, Bozdag, and Asen Gurov, the Bulgarian kings in the back row there.
This lineup doesn't look quite right here. I think we might be out of order on the start line.
And I think that's what they might have spotted there.
Yeah.
Getting things sorted.
All right, that is the confusion.
You should be joining them down there as well.
Yeah, well,
put the headset down, go sort them out, and then come back up here.
You know, the skaters are assigned a specific order on the line, and obviously they were out of order in that sequence, so they had to be corrected.
Safely away. Certainly a lot of familiar faces. Quentin Verkok, perhaps more sprinting prowess. Reinus Berzins, another experienced skater. Frey Van Dam of the Belgian Ice Bears there. It's his debut World Cup weekend. He still has junior World Cups to skate as well, but he's been selected to join the Ice Bears roster to get his feet wet at the senior level. He trains in Montreal as well.
Well, that's a great opportunity for that young man. Coming out here, racing with the seniors is obviously quite a step up from the junior level, but this is going to be great, valuable experience as he works towards Junior Worlds this year. Now we have Daniel Bergen, who's really pushing the pace out front here. I think we saw him do something similar yesterday even. You know, he's getting quite a lead. He's got to be careful if he doesn't overextend himself, because when the pack reacts, they're going to close him down pretty quickly still. But you know, I do like the change of tactic, mixing it up a little bit.
As things start to ramp up, the drama will increase. We'll start to see if he can hang on as the agony starts to set in. Always like the change. He's got about a half a lap right now. Still a ways to go.
He hasn't been pushing it too hard. He's still only just got under the 10-second lap mark. So, you know, maybe he's got a little in the tank. He's coming up on, I think, what, 5 to go here. So maybe he can just start, you know, putting some gas on this fire and keeping it going.
It is Van Dam on the front. Berzins does have a 1,500-meter bronze medal on World Cup last season. And down goes Van Dam.
A little contact on the outside pass by Berzins there on Van Dam. We'll have to go back for review on that one. And now the pack is tracking down Bergen.
I was wondering if maybe the confusion after the incident might open the door a little bit, but that gap is coming down quickly. It's Berzins and Verkok. That's a lot of experience there.
Berzins getting caught up on the outside there, and Verkok taking advantage, jumping on the inside, but it is still 2 together in the lead.
And it's the French Rooster in front, Berzins behind him for the Latvian Golden Stars. It's 1-2. We'll see how that review goes, but the opening race of the day goes to Quentin Verkok.
As mentioned earlier, that review is going to be on Berzins' outside pass on Van Dam. So we will
change in the corner is sort of what they're watching for. And so you mentioned that blue line that we see on the straightaway. There's no blue line around the corners. How do they monitor lane change there?
Yeah, it's a little bit of intuition, I suppose. You can kind of see, you can see the tractor skating right there. It is certainly more difficult. The camera angles don't always, you know, give you the best look either. However, they're going to be just watching how aggressive you kind of shifting from right to left going into the corner, or adversely left to right to move out to block somebody. So if they see an aggressive or quick adjustment in your track pattern, then they, rather than a smooth radius, then they would see that as a lane change.
The various markers for the pylons, might that help them as well?
Yeah,
you could, as a land marking.
You know what, Gavin? You could kind of reference those too. If you can, spot them on the camera, that could also be a reference point. But of course, as the track shifts one way or another, you may or may not have track dots to reference. But we have, what's great? There's 7 tracks on the ice now. So, when you're kind of growing up in club programs, maybe you started a club that only had 1 track, then eventually we had 3 tracks, then the racing levels we had 5 tracks, and now they just keep adding them on. Now we have 7 tracks.
After review, we give a penalty to number 37 from Latvia, and we have an advancement for number 118 from Belgium.
There you have it. So Berzins did finish 2nd over the line, but he is penalized, and Frey Van Dam advanced, and so that means Mohamed Bozdag gets bumped up into the 2nd in the automatic qualifying positions, and Daniel Bergen now hanging on, and now we'll watch the clock a little bit.
Well, Bergen put in all that work to try to secure that time, and right now that strategy, has put him in a position to potentially go through.
Now this sort of begs the question, Berzins finished 2nd. Why not just, if you're advancing Van Dam anyway, why does he not just take that 2nd place from Berzins? Bozdag gets the 2nd, if you catch my drift. So Bozdag, I guess he was 3rd over line, bumped up into the 2nd, but if you're already penalizing the 2nd place skater, why not put that advancement into that 2nd place position?
I don't know if I'm following.
Yeah, sorry. It's it's a long train of thought.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes sense where it goes back to where you're the first 2 over the line, you automatically qualify. So it's not like Berzins being bumped up into 2nd can be bumped back to 3rd when there's an advancement.
Right.
Ready.
Last weekend I was making up words. This weekend I'm going on long, pointless ramblings that go to nowhere. So this is why we have the Repechage session for us as well. In this heat, Oleg Hyundai of the Wildcats, Ivan Donchev of the Kings, Laicai Huan Chen of Chinese Taipei, Yaroslav Morozov of the Wildcats. First look at Thomas Natalini of the Italian Gladiators, Felix Pigeon, the Polish Hussars, and Theo Collins of the British Royals. So another heat where we're in a repechage, but different guys we can keep our eyes on here.
Yeah, certainly some good names here. Well, Felix Pigeon, Natalini, Oleg Hyundai, seen a lot of these guys. All 3 of them. This is going to be, it's going to be a competitive race here for those top 2 positions. They have not gone out, on a very quick pace here, so they're already falling behind the first repechage race in terms of time. So really, you're gonna have to be gotta be 1st and 2nd on this one. Absolutely.
So yeah, you like to mention yesterday, it's a lot easier to start quickly and hang on than it is to start slowly and be forced to chase, not knowing how much time you have to pull back.
Yeah, well, they certainly will, may finish quicker, faster lap times at the end, but they were putting up 13-second laps to start, whereas the other heat was in the 10s already. So that's multiple seconds giving up.
When you're dropping 3 seconds a lap, it's tough to gain back when the margins on those later laps are so much quicker.
Certainly. And you can't let the times, dictate your strategy completely, but it is something you have to be aware of. You can't, just go overexert yourself at the front because you're chasing the 3rd place time, because then everyone's just going to draft and follow you and try to overtake you at the finish. So it is a balance between the 2.
And after heat 1, we already do have 1 advancement, so that means now there's 1 3rd place time available, and it's Natalini on the front. Hyundai watching him. Here comes Pigeon. Wouldn't be surprised if it's these 3 guys really going for it. Hyundai not afraid to animate races.
Well, Pigeon had a fantastic 1,000-meter yesterday.
Now he makes the move on Hyundai. Collins also in the mix. Hyundai a little stumble out of there, and it looks like it's Natalini and Pigeon in the end ahead of Collins.
No, it's a nice race. Some nice action there. I think Natalini and Pigeon, the top 2 going through, somewhat as expected. saw, you know, they really did start lapping a lot faster in terms of pace at the finish there, but still not quite fast enough to match the time of the previous round. But as you mentioned, Gavin, one advancement already. That's only leaving other one-time qualification if we have no further advancements in the next 4 repechage races.
Nothing getting reviewed there. That one appeared clean, and so 4 races to go in this 1500-meter quarterfinal repechage, and it's a quick turnaround as well. These guys, those who advance, have to do repechage semifinals, even if they want to make the afternoon program. And so those who do qualify will be a mix of, they'll already be battle tested a little bit, but they'll also have that little bit more fatigue.
Yeah, and you know, as a skater, you kind of have to look at the positive side of it and say to yourself, well, you know what? Sure, I've done 2 extra races today. However, you know, those are opportunities for me to kind of get warmed up on the ice, get a good feel for the ice, and now I'm warmed up to race. My body's moving, my body's working, it knows how it's going to respond. So, got to look at the positives of that when you take that into the afternoon rounds.
Let's look at heat number 3. Iwasa Dan of the Ninjas, Lucas Wareham of the Racing Roos, Lucas Speckenhauser, Gladiators, Robin Bendig of the Wolves, Nico Anderman, Austria, Yerkabulan Shamukanov of the Nomads, and Lucas McDonald of the Ice Kias.
Go to the start. Ready.
And I don't think they're going for time based on the first few strides, but you never know.
No, it does not appear so. You know, one thing I was going to mention, it's interesting how in the starts, the quickness of the gun from the time that the starters say ready now has really changed over the years. It used to be a much longer hold for the skaters on the line, but now there's no false start, so they really do a, you know, quick shot, quick fire right after that ready call, and that does limit the number of possible false starts you have, because as soon as you have athletes holding, you hold them too long, someone's going to twitch, someone's going to move a toe, so they're much quicker on the trigger after they call ready now.
And of course the start, not really as important as a 500-meter race when we see them just easing off the line.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see skaters in the 1500 meter, the gun goes and it looks like they never even heard the gun at all. They're just kind of frozen in space there, waiting for everyone else to go, and then they move off the line.
Shamukanov on the front, 25 years old, lives in Kokshetau, Kazakhstan. It's a little bit northwest rather, of the capital, Astana. Wareham now on the front, Bendig, the man from, if I'm not mistaken, Dresden.
Well, I was just about to say the man to watch in this race will be Lucas Speckenhauser, and before I could get the words out of my mouth, he jumped up from 5th to 1st with a nice big inside pass, taking advantage of the slow speed, and now he's picking up the pace.
Now just ramping it up, seeing if anyone can match the pace. A little bit of a excuse me move by Robin Bendig getting on the inside.
Well, get ready for some action here.
They're trying to chase Speckenhauser. Really, Iwasa and Shamukanov only 2 able to keep up with them. Wareham going into the corner there, bit of a bump.
Oh, a big battle in the back of this race here between these skaters. Oh, Nico Anderman's just kind of pulled out of it.
And it's still Speckenhauser. Keeping up with him is one thing, passing him is something completely different. They'll come up to the bell here.
Well, you gotta be top 2 here, so let's keep an eye open.
Shamukanov has to make a move, Iwasa has to defend, and it will be Speckenhauser rather, just too much, and Iwasa joining him.
Yeah, a little bit surprised Shamukanov didn't go for something at the line there. Maybe he's just kind of feeling the burn at the end of this 1500. Those laps are stacking up. Just feeling a little bit heavy and didn't quite have it, but you know, I thought I might have seen a little bit more of an attack there at the finish.
Back, and yeah, perhaps the pace just too much, where he's able to keep up and do not much more than that. Once Speckenhauser hit the front, that was all she wrote. So Iwasa behind him. I don't think anything getting reviewed other than that bump near the back of the field, but I don't think that would have affected anyone advancement. And so Speckenhauser, Iwasa, and Shamukanov
think
able to move on.
I think Nico Honderman in that race was just kind of getting bumped left and right, and sometimes you just have one of those races where you're just like, nothing is working out here. Like everywhere I go, no matter what I do, I just feel like you get hit left and right. You try to make a pass, it doesn't go. Someone else makes a pass on you, it's not a good one. You're just kind of getting pushed around, and you just kind of like get fed up. And you know what? This isn't my race today.
And yeah, to keep your powder dry for another race where
That's right.
You might have another opportunity, especially with so many races. And there comes a point where it's, you know what? Let's pull the chute on this one. I did take a second look. We may be sending it down to the ice there. And we are. One moment.
After a review, we give a penalty to number 106 from Australia.
And there you have it. Inside skater failure to give way.
It's a little bit what we're just talking about. I think just things weren't clicking for Anderman in that race there. There's a penalty to go with it. So now he'll recharge his battery for the next one.
3 to go, and Sun Long, a world champion, is in this heat. Facing repechage action, Joshua Ka, Maxim Maximov of the Kings, Ivan Martinic of the Croatian Dalmatians, Furkan Akar, the Turkish Anatolian Pars, Aybek Nassan of the Kazakh Nomads, and Niall Tracy of the British Royals. There you have it. The penalization, it was actually Wareham who got penalized on Anderman.
Okay.
But Speckenhauser and Iwasa going through. There's a look, the illegal lane pass.
So in this next race, Sun Long, reigning 1500-meter world champion, you know, doesn't quite look to be in the same form as he was at Worlds, but you know he's probably looking to build through the season. Niall Tracy, I believe he had a bit of a slip that took him down yesterday, so he's going to be definitely one to watch. And then Furkan Akar has some top speed, so if it's not too quick for Konakar, you got to watch for him at the finish. But let's pay attention. Tracy likes to go to the front. We'll talk about that a little bit more after the start.
Go to the start. Ready.
Coming back to Sun for a second. He was in a heat yesterday, won by William Donjanu. Felix Roussel of the Canadian Ice Maples also in second, and then also had Andrew Hyo. So it was a pretty tough heat for him as well. He came fourth, and those top 3 did advance, the first 2 by position and Hyo on time. So we'll see if Tracy takes his position and ramps things up from the front.
Yeah, so something I was going to mention on that with Niall Tracy being from, you know, a smaller country, not quite as much depth. He's certainly the leader on the team in terms of strength and being their top skater. So when they'd be training at home, I can only imagine that most training programs, he's probably doing a lot of the pulling. He's probably leading a lot of the laps and pushing the pace for the team. So it doesn't surprise me that he's naturally comfortable at the front of the race and also has developed the strength to lead from the front. So that's probably, you know, where the skill comes from, the strength and the confidence to be at the lead of the race. So we'll see though, he's going with a little bit different today. He's holding back a little bit longer than we typically see for Tracy.
A 24-year-old, the youngest of 3 elder siblings, Ethan and Farrell.
And there it is.
Also competing for what was Team GB. He keeps the family line going. Tracy now trying to complete the move, getting around the front, but it's a car at the moment, the real sprinter in all this. He's not afraid to mix things up with a fair bit to go, but here comes Sun Long as well. Once again, Tracy defending. So far, so good for him. As he comes up, he'll see 4 laps to go this time around. Still a lot of work to do. Sun Long slotting into 3rd.
Yeah, Sun Long kind of just shut it down there. He didn't put up too much of a fight to get in between Tracy and the car there. So for Carr's got a good opportunity here to kind of defend from second, because Tracy's just so strong in the lead. He can kind of defend that position with track pattern. But let's watch Sun Long. What can he pull off?
He's got some work to do. He's getting right up on a car, making the inside move, makes that one stick, and now 1 to go at the bell. Tracy fighting valiantly. He had a good race in the 1,000 yesterday. Looking like he will continue that run. Niall Tracy, another solid work for the British Royal. And Sun Long. It was a faster heat, certainly, but almost no margin for error with, I think, just 1 third-place time.
Yeah, well, you know what? It was a faster finish, that's for sure. The time itself, I think, again, they just kind of blew a couple seconds early. So I think they were around the 2:27 marker, which was a little bit slower, but they certainly were pushing the pace in those last, 7 laps once Tracy took the lead.
Certainly, we're seeing his ability over the course of this weekend to protect an advantage, and so another shot in the arm for that young man's confidence. It is still Heat 1 with the fastest third-place time, and so, pardon me, it is top 2. What am I thinking here? It's first and second place skaters. Not worried about time. It's the third-place time. I'm getting my numbers confused again. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 1, and it the mind wanders. Anyway, Sun Long is through. Niall Tracy also through to the Repechage semifinals.
Well, there's no shortage of numbers that you're going to read over the course of a short track speed skating weekend, from what's the race number, what's their helmet number, what's their number on the line, what's the time, and what's the advancements. And I'm sure there's more numbers we could.
And then there's names from all over the world that we're trying to keep track of. And thank you for defending me here.
Do our best to pronunciate those names properly.
As always, we do accept feedback on that, and so if you do have any expertise on some of the ones we might be working on, we always appreciate that. But anyway, 2 to go in the men's 1,500-meter repechage quarterfinals. So look at Mieta Shogo. I'm just doing some ice maintenance. That work is now done. Track stewards, as always, up to the task. They'll be busy today, as they always are. We have Brandon Kim, Su Junpeng, Mieta Shogo, Adil Galiakhmatov, Yang Cheng Rui, Balash Bontovics, and Kwok Fung.
Go to the start. Ready.
It's interesting to note, Brandon Kim, when they said ready, he didn't even move. Everyone goes into a position and
just kind of a drop the head like this.
Exactly, not even humoring the starters. Yeah. just fire the gun.
Yeah. Let's just get going here. But shouting out to our track stewards, our officials. We feel tired sitting down all day talking, but they are on the ice, standing, skating all day long, wearing skates all day for about 11 hours. So,
they have to be far more perceptive and on the ball than we do, whether it's watching for incidents or replacing the lane markers or any of that. They have to be almost spotless in the work they do.
Absolutely. It's there. There's been incidents over the years where track stewards, they got to be so sharp, and it's to do it at this level takes a lot of skill. You do have to kind of work your way up through various levels of competitions to acquire the skill in order to be a track steward at this level. Most of these track stewards would all themselves be probably quite high-level speed skaters in their own right.
This one very slowly picking up speed. And it's Su Junpeng of Chinese Taipei on the front. Now things are getting a little more personal. He's saying, oh yeah, you want to get in front? Now here I come. Kwok Fung of the Hong Kong Ice Chillins in third, now being passed by his teammate Yang Cheng Rui And I thought I did see one of the new kits this weekend. Haven't seen it out on the ice just yet. Maybe they're just breaking it in and it'll be ready for Beijing.
Let's watch Galiakmatov in the back here. I think, yeah, just as he's saying, he's starting to try to wind it up because we're getting close to the finish and they haven't been pushing the pace. So these skiers' legs are going to be feeling pretty fresh. Galiakmatov making that outside pass look effortless, not even putting a hand down. He's flying, nice speed track there. Miata right behind him.
Brandon Kim of the USA Eagles on the front for the moment, trying to defend his line from Miata. It's going to really be tough too because of that very slow start. 3 men vying for 2 places. A lap and a half to go. It's Galiakmatov. It's Miata. Kim might be feeling it after spending some time on the front, but Galiakmatov times it right. Miata times it right, and they look to be both moving on.
Hopefully we get a nice little review of Miata Shogo's inside pass there on Brandon Kim because he did a beautiful job of just accelerating out wide and hooking it tight, and a nice clean inside pass.
Nothing needing a second review, and so we'll get the race summary back up on the screen in just a little bit. Here we go.
Well, now as we're looking at those advancements in positions, we have the 1 advancement, and then we have the 1 time spot left available that is still going to Daniil Bergen from Heat 1.
From going off on a flyer.
Going off on a flyer in his own, you know, getting a little bit fortunate with the penalty in the race that allowed him to move up to that 3rd position. So that strategy for him right now, he's still holding his breath right now.
It's interesting that that is both the advancement and the 3rd place time at the moment.
Yep.
And 1 more race for him to wait. As we'll get the results posted up on the screen. Nothing needed a second look, and so Galiakmatov and Miata, 1 and 2. Last heat's already out on the ice. There you go, Galiakmatov and Miata 1 and 2. Moving into heat number 6, there's Wara van Dam, the elder Van Dam on the Belgian Ice Bears. Itzhak de Laat, the Dutch veteran. Tobias Wolff of Austria. Peter Joseph Grosskloos of the Philippine Tamaraws. Jonas Hammermuller of the Wolves. Nathan Thomas of the Hussars. Bit of a age gulf here from, you see Itzhak de Laat, the 30-year-old, all the way down to Grosskloos, the teenager. Wolff, I think he's still just 19 as well. He turns 20 in 5 days, so he's still just 19. So running the gamut of ages here, and it's Jonas Hammermuller of the German Wolves on the front right now.
Yeah, certainly Itzhak de Laat's got some experience. I believe it was 2011, his first appearance on the World Cup circuit. He's coming up on about 13, 14 years of short track World Cup, World Tour racing.
So when he was starting, some of these guys were
3 years old.
Exactly. Muller still on the front. Wolff now picking it up. de Laat now picking it up as well. Wolff went way deep before making it out to make that turn. Here comes Grosskloos, perhaps more his element in the 500, developing that speed endurance. He's now coming around to the front, trying to hang tough with de Laat. Thomas, a Canadian-born Polish Hussar, also in the mix. Very close, this one. This one is, it started slowly, but it's ramping up pretty quickly. Whoa, and Grosskloos is down, and Wolff goes down. That looked like it started from Wara van Dam there.
Yeah, Van Dam's pass on the outside, I think, just clipped the shoulder of Grosskloos, which sent him spinning and taking out Tobias Wolff. So we will be waiting to see if there's any advancements off that, because Grosskloos was sitting in second, I believe, at that time.
Nathan Thomas trying to sneak around the outside.
So something that Thomas may want to consider is say, hey, well, do I think, you know, Van Dam's going to be disqualified or penalized on that move? Because if so, then I'm actually in second while being third right now, and that would be enough to get me through. So don't risk falling. Yep. Now that's a lot of calculations for a skater to make while their legs are burning and their lungs are blowing up. But that's something that you do mentally note when you're in that pack.
Well, it's Itzhak Dalat staying above the fray. And then it's Van Dam and Thomas, and so we will see how that little yellow dot in the corner gets addressed.
Yeah, they are investigating Van Dam, lane change outside to in the straight on Peter Grosclose, so we will wait to see the review and the official decision.
We are going to get a look here at some point. Right, there's the bump. Grosclose thrown off kilter. They always look at whose shoulders are in front. Could have also just been a shared responsibility situation.
Yeah, to me it looked like Grosclose was just holding his line. He wasn't making any quick movements to try to block or, you know, put up any fight on Van Dam there, and just Van Dam kind of coming across, entering the turn maybe a little bit earlier, caught the shoulders of Grosclose. But we will we'll wait to see the review. Maybe we'll get another angle.
This one's taking a moment. Here we go, to the ice.
After a review, we give a penalty for number 109 from Belgium, and we have an advancement for number 139 from Philippines.
There you have it. And so, Wara Van Dam penalized, Peter Grosclose moving on, and meanwhile, Daniel Bergen, unfortunate for him, waiting so long to see the second advancement at the end.
He was so close, and then the advancement at the end took that spot away.
And so, very quick turnaround for them. They'll be back. Here's a look at the incident. Outside to in, lane change. Van Dam going out, going in. And that's all she wrote for those two men going down. But it's Grosclose moving on. And we move right along. The 1,000-meter women quarterfinal repechage. Petra Yashpati, Chloe Olivier, Lam Ching-yan, Hyojin Kim, and Petra Vankova. So there's an ice spider out there, there's a falcon, there's a rooster, a racing roo, and an ice chilin.
I think there was some difficulties with the speaker there for the starter, so commands just weren't getting announced over the speaker.
9 laps. In this one, the women's 1,000-meter repechage quarterfinals. The repechage quarterfinals and semis are just to get into the quarterfinals later on. First skater from each race and up to the 5 fastest second place skaters. And so instead of, you know, you could just say top 2 moving on, but of course with advancements, that's why they say up to 5 fastest seconds. So it is possible that all 5 second place go on.
Yeah, that's just to ensure that they don't overload the next round. So it's very nearly a 2+0, but it's a 1+5.
Lam Ching-yan on the front, a little jostling there, and it's Kim, pardon me. Hyojin Kim, Korean-born racing room.
Skater to watch is Yashapati, who's back in 5th position right now.
Chloe Olivier also not afraid to mix things up, and now it's Olivier going all the way around to the front. Now with 2 to go, it's Yashapati and Olivier going toe-to-toe. At the bell, Olivier holding off Yashapati. Yashapati trying to go around the outside. She makes it stick just in time for the corner. It's Petri Yashapati going in first place, and Chloe Olivier would feel pretty confident given the amount of second place skaters get moved on, or second place times, but we never know in this sport.
We never know. You know, that 1:37, I believe, was the finishing time there. We'll wait for the official. It's not blistering quick. You know, maybe expecting to see times more around the 1:35, but again, if there's no advancements, it doesn't really matter because all 5 seconds will go through. Just in one sense, you kind of want to make sure you're just not the slowest second place finisher.
Olivier makes the move late. Yashapati knew to follow her and mark things all the way to the line.
So sometimes if you're that first race and you have all those time advancements and feel confident that you can get that top two, sometimes the strategy is just to, hey, I'm just going to put up, make sure we get a good time here so I can feel comfortable waiting, going through, and put the pressure on the next races to try to respond to what I've just done. So you can kind of by going first, you can kind of put the pressure on the rest, rather than kind of, if you don't, you kind of have to sit back and hold your breath.
So nothing got reviewed out of that one, and so now it is a matter of breath holding for Chloe Olivier. There you have it, the big Q next to Yashapati. She's moving on. Olivier on the clock now. And heat number 2 has a couple of ninjas, a couple of royals, and an ice bear. Yamana Rina, Nakashima Mide, Annabelle Green, Holly Hoyland, and Tinnika Dendulk.
Pour cette deuxième vague d'une série de 5 chez les femmes. Tableau repêchage quart de finale sur la distance de 1000 mètres. We have in this heat number 2 a couple of skaters representing
and it's the ninjas on the front. The 20 Nakashima Mide, sorry, is 20 years old. She is slotting into second place. Yamana Rina is turning 25 later this year. And now it's Nakashima getting in front of her teammate, sharing the load a little bit.
Well,
Annabelle Green in third.
I don't want to say team skating necessarily, but these skaters seem to be working together towards the front to keep this pace going. I do. Yamana went out right away. She typically likes to lead, so it didn't shock me at all to see her going there and pushing the pace, but we got the two ninjas right at the front, still progressing at speed. I think they know if the two of them together can keep that momentum going, they can get through both those skaters by having some solid times.
It's pretty organized there on the front between the two of them, and it might just be happening that way as they know each other so well.
It could naturally be unfolding that way, but
and nobody's able to keep in contact with them. Green and Hoyland trying to close it down. Dendulk peeling it off the back, and at the bell it is Yamana still on the front. Nakashima in second. Very smooth from both of them, and will be Green finishing things off, but solid 1-2 for the Japanese ninjas.
Been a much quicker race. I was kind of mentioning before, I thought maybe getting more into that 1:35 marker around that zone. So Nakashima's time looking like well, we'll wait for the official because a very low 1:34, and sometimes the officials get a little bit quicker when they go to the photo finish. So it could be a 1:33.99 in that range. So we'll call it a 1:34.0 for now.
And the two teammates.
1:34.009.
Ooh, that close. Nice work from the two teammates. Just the way it ends up that they happen to share that workload at the front and nobody's able to match them. And there you have it. Yamana is through. Nakashima will wait. That's 2 of 5 down. Moving on to heat number 3. Sees Natalia Malashevska starting out of position 1. Svetlana Repechage of the Wildcats, Betty Muska, Zofia Konya, and Katarina Buric.
to the start. Ready.
Malashevska certainly has a lot of power. And it's Budic, the 27-year-old out of Zagreb, moving all the way to the front. Speaks 4 languages.
That's it?
That's it.
Yeah.
I'll forever be impressed with the multilingual athletes. Bulgarian, Croatian, English, and Italian, if you were wondering.
Wow, that's a variety.
It's a good solid mix. They function a lot of places around the world. Anyway, Budic on the front, Malashevska certainly one to watch. We know her top end speed. Zofia Konya there as well. Once again, just the one guaranteed qualifier and the potential for a second place advancement as well.
Budic still controlling this race from the lead, but let's pay attention. Malashevska jumping the inside. Whoa, what a long left. Hopefully get a slow-mo of that afterwards. She was just hanging out that left foot, which is so difficult to do. It's much easier to turn on your right foot doing something like that, but what control.
Budic had to put both hands down on the ice, and it really sapped all her speed. She's not getting looked at in any way, but yeah, Budic, I saw just 2 hands down almost, and it's Malashevska on the front, Konya and Repechage trying to keep contact. I don't think anyone's going to catch them. It is Italian Malashevska moving on. Zofia Konya, she will be watching that one in the 136 range. At it. So we'll see that move with Budic jumping out to the lead.
I want to get another look on that inside pass by Malashevska.
For so long, Budic, who was I believe, the lowest ranked skater in the field, and held on for as long as she could, but when the move came, wasn't able to maintain contact. I don't think we got that second look.
No,
at it,
we didn't. We saw the initiation of the pass, but we didn't see the follow through. So 3 clean quarterfinals in this women's 1,000 meter. 2 more to go. No advancements.
And there's the results. Malashevska and Konya moving into heat number 4. Another one of the Dalmatians. It's Valentina Askic, who will look to avenge her teammate not able to advance. Then there's Topolska of the Hussars, Louisiana Stahl of the Eagles, Gwendolyn Daudet of the Roosters, Leah Mead of the Ice Kias, and Hirai Ami of the Japanese Ninjas.
Go to the start. Ready.
And it's Askic, born in Bosnia and Herzegovina. She turns 25 in about 10 days' time. 26, pardon me. She's 25 now. Leah Mead, the Ice Kias, in second, and it's Daudet now. Both hands on the back, opting to lead from the front.
6 skaters in this 1,000 meters, so that's just adding a little bit more depth to this field. Askic, Topolska, Hirayami, all skaters that could take this race, competing for 2 spots, and only the winner guaranteeing themselves through until further notice.
Mead is taking a look, not finding the opening, slots into third behind Askic, and it's Daudet holding them off for now. Coming up to 3 to go.
Daudet's looking comfortable up front. She's well positioned in this race. 2 to go. She's gonna have to get defensive here.
And here they come. They're coming from all sides, really.
It's so difficult to defend. You got skaters trying to pass you inside, pass you outside.
It is Askic who's made it around. Hirai able to make it up to second, and that's really sapped the legs of Daudet. She can't hang it on, and it's going to be Askech and Hidai 1 and 2. Topolska getting up for third, and so close for Daudet. You always just sort of feel that in particular when someone has that plan, and it's just once the pass is made, and that's when the lights really go out.
Yeah, and there was, you know, a few moments there where there's just kind of some little bit of kind of bumping or contact, and that just kind of trips you up, and it does kill your velocity, kills your speed, and you just can't regain it when you're that tired.
Askech looking likely to move on as the race winner, and Hidai jumping up to get that second spot in another clean race. So still on course for every second place finisher moving on. And I think that 136.6 or 135.613, that would be good enough even if there is one advancement. It might be Zofia Kanya right now. No, it's Chloe Olivier on the bubble.
That's right.
Out of heat number 1. And getting into the 5th and final heat, they'll be readying the Zamboni. There will be a flood after this one, and then a lot of these skaters will come right back around for their semifinals, men's 1500 and women's 1000 repechage semifinal. Look at the last heat. Dita Van Oorschot of the Lions, Maya Somodi of the Falcons, Alina Ashgalieva of the Nomads, and a couple of Wildcats, Yelizaveta Sidorko, Miroslava Selyakova, and Malika Yermak of the Kazakh Nomads.
Let's see if Dita Van Oorschot goes to the front and tries to control this race. She's doing just that. You know, it's fun as you watch these skaters, you get to know them, you start to learn their strategies, their tactics that they most typically apply. Usually most obvious for the skaters that like to be near the front because we see them the most leading. But a lot of action these early 2 laps. Dita Van Oorschot just kind of getting bumped around, not be able to get her feet moving again. So we'll see if she's going to be patient here, or if she's going to try to work her way back up again. But this pace is moving quicker than the rounds that we've seen. The one lap there, 9.8. So a sub 10-second lap that early in 1,000 is quite quick.
Long way to go for Van Oorschot. It's Ashgalieva on the front right now, the 19-year-old.
Well, we see Yermak and Ashgalieva, 2 teammates here. I wonder if they're trying to get together here at all. Something that we saw earlier with the Ninjas. So will the Nomads try to combine their forces at the front of this pack?
Somebody is splitting it up right now. He's looking around, trying to find the opening. Van Oorschot now tries to make the move on third and does make that stick.
This pace is still moving, 9/8 here.
Somebody in the lead. Van Oorschot does sneak in for second just in time to hit the corner. The complexion has changed completely as they hit the bell. It's a nice skate from Maya Somodi, and then Dita Van Oorschot of the Dutch Lions slotting in behind her. And once again, the Nomads, after being near the front, it just sort of all fades away from them once the catch is made.
I think there was a lot of competing strategies in that race. Different skaters were hoping it was going to unfold their way, and they were all just kind of battling, trying to put their plan to use. And I think that was just kind of mixing things up for everyone.
Somodi just turned 20 years old last month. Looking to have picked up a nice race win there, and a lot of bumping, a lot of contact, but once again, another clean race. And so it looks like all the second place times will move on. We'll just wait for the results to come up, and then we will throw to our quick break. There you go. Maya Somodi winning it. Dita Van Oorschot, the little Q next to her name. That means she is moving on to the repechage semifinals, but the margins get much, much smaller in that race. And so we throw to our first ice break of the day. I think you heard them say it's about a 17-minute break for us. It's one of our longer ones,
Oh,
longer than qualifying day anyway.
We might have gotten ahead of schedule there. There wasn't too many reviews of, so things were moving along.
Yeah, it's true. We're making up for some of the time when we had a delay yesterday. So anyway, we'll make the most of this little break that we have, and we'll be back with you shortly.
So we're here this weekend. To watch the short track here in Montreal. It's the World Tour. It's starting this season, so it's really exciting.
It's a great venue. I think the ice is super good. The athletes really like it. We're super lucky to have it here every year.
A lot of sliding races happen here. Some world titles, a Canadian world title here in Charles. It's a place where a lot of short track legends trained. So for me, it's really, really important to honor them through skating here.
As a fact, Montreal has hosted 5 world championships, more than any other cities in the world.
We train here like since I'm really young, so I feel when I was young, like to be part of the team and then to be here at Repechage was like kind of an achievement to skate in front of all the young kids. I feel like for them it's kind of an inspiration.
Often clubs get to skate on Montreal ice here, and so I was one of the lucky ones that got to skate here. It was like my first time was when I was 12. And I just remember being so much bigger than what I'm used to in clubs. A lot of good memories that I made here throughout the years. So I'm just blessed to be able to continue those memories here this weekend.
I was born just like 20 minutes away from Montreal, so I've been here my whole life. I think what makes Montreal special is that the culture of every different country is mixed here in Montreal.
Montreal is a city like no other because it feels more like a European city in a lot of ways. I think in North America we're used to a lot of highways, big open roads, but in some ways I think Montreal, especially through downtown, feels almost closer to Europe.
I don't know how to say about Montreal. I feel like it's the dream kind of started here. So.
I think we're coming really strong this year. Last year we performed super well. I think the support of the crowd will be super important for us.
I think it's always nice to skate in front of the family and the friends.
Having everyone at home cheering for us is always a blessing.
That's the beautiful thing about Canada. We never go into a competition thinking we're going to finish second.
So I think we're really bonded together as a team, and we'll be super strong this year.
We're good towards everything, and no matter if we do or not, we're going to try.
repechage skaters. Men's 1500-meter repechage semifinals to come, and then the women's 1000-meter repechage semis. Very, very quick turnaround. They just raced in the quarters, and there are 2 heats, 7 skaters in each heat, and each of them just going for 1 place in this afternoon's semifinals. Of course, barring advancements, Tyler, but really makes this a real urgent race in both these semis.
The stakes are high. In the next couple of races, the men 1500 meters will have 7 skaters on track.
Looks like just able to hear Tyler at the moment. Here, he got his mic back up there.
There we go. Some technical difficulties, leaving you hanging there all by yourself. No, yeah, it's a lot of pressure to be this is 1+0, right? Like you can't make any mistakes. You got to win this race. There's no, second place. There's no time. It's all about the win. But when you have that kind of advancement, don't expect to see a blazing fast start.
It's all amongst the racers themselves. No worries about time. Mohamed Bozdag, Thomas Natalini, Felix Pigeon, Itzhak Dalat, Niall Tracy, Iwasa Dan, and Peter Grossclose.
Skaters position 5 this way a little bit spread out. Go to the start. Ready.
Yes, very pedestrian start, like a herd of turtles, so to speak. It's Itzhak Dalat on the front, but that will change. We'll see if Niall Tracy goes to the front like he's done very often. But also lots to watch. I mean, Natalini, Pigeon, this isn't not a bunch of slouches in this heat.
No, not at all. And because of that, I think we'll expect to see, just the next few moments, some skaters trying to position themselves near the lead of this race while the pace is still nice and slow because, again, you're battling for that first position. It's a long ways to go from 7th up there. You don't necessarily want to do a bunch of work at the front, but you want to be near the front for when the pace does pick up, that you're in a good position to respond. So that's looking at a top 3 position for sure. I think as soon as you're kind of even as far back as 4th, you want to be moving up. We see Furkan Akar doing that. Oh, sorry, right now. Yeah, Bozdag doing that right now.
Anatolian Par, so we wait to see who brings that first real injection of pace, who really ramps things up. There goes Tracy now. And it makes these races we see so often. We see a lot of 1500s, of course, but when sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3 advancing, sometimes there's the 2+1, as you say, but when it's just 1, it's the same race, but it makes it a completely different complexion.
Well, here's Natalini battling his way on the outside, but Tracy's doing a good job keeping the pace up, keeping him stuck out wide. That's going to burn a lot of energy for Natalini.
Natalini not able to get around him once. He half did, but then was forced out wide. Tracy once again defending so well, up to 5 laps to go, and down goes Bozdag.
Well, Natalini's just been battling it out here with Bozdag there. He couldn't get around to the front, and that was kind of a critical moment, I think, for Natalini in this race, not completing an outside pass. Tracy did a great job defending him.
Will be reviewed. Itzhak Dalat now does manage to get around Tracy. Tracy looking to perhaps come back. Look out, of course, Iwasa Dan, Felix Pigeon moving up. They're coming up to 2 to go.
And now is where you got to be building it. If you're going to make a move, you've got to get your speed going. Pigeon look up the inside. Tracy look on the outside. Itzhak Dalat getting bumped here.
And Tracy took a bump and lost a lot of speed. Pigeon's through it. Itzhak Dalat is down.
Another bump on the outside here.
Oh, and Iwasa's down. And Natalini is the one who gets over the line first.
Oh, what a race here. I think a lot of things didn't play out in Natalini's favor over the course of the race. Things weren't going his way. He didn't quite get to the front when he needed to. Then he found himself battling it out with Bozdags for second, getting bumped to the back, and then I think he just kind of emptied the gas tank already. But in short track, when everybody else goes, things can get mixed up pretty quick, and next thing you know, you find yourself back in the lead of the race.
Time for our officials to really earn their stripes now. Don't envy the work they have to do, sorting all that out.
Well, it's funny how it can work. You can put all this work to make a move, and it doesn't pay off. And then all of a sudden, the race just gives it back to you.
Just like sort of what we saw in one of the relays yesterday when who was it? The Polish Hussars went down, and we thought they were done, and then there was another crash, and then they managed to jump up.
That's right. I
There's
believe it was the
Bosdag going
Lions.
down. Right. And there might be another incident there. That's Itzhak Dalat going down after a bump with Pigeon. And then Iwasa Dan goes down. So above it all, I don't think Natalini was involved in any of the things getting looked at.
Yeah, we'll look at here. So we're looking at a possible.
There actually is possible lane change on the corner.
Yeah, Bosdag there. That was that earlier one. And then
Itzhak Dalat, Felix Pigeon both being investigated for that same incident, and then Pigeon again on Iwasa Dan.
And then yeah, that's right. So we got 4 different incidents now. Our officials have their work cut out for them. I'm glad I'm not an official here trying to make a call on that race.
We just get to sit up here and wait for them to make the announcement. But I mean, if you look at it, potentially their advancements, second place was Niall Tracy in the end after all of that. And so,
well, then we wait to see if there's any penalties and who ends up where, right?
Exactly. And there's Bosdag going down with crossing swords with Natalini, and then there's Dalat going down. So we're working things out as always. That is going to be the busy room today.
Yeah, the video room has their work cut out for them this morning on this one.
It's a little corner of the arena here.
So we're starting to see some decisions being made as the officials work through this race. They're going to have to look at each incident, individually, kind of work their way through one by one. But then also, of course, they're looking at, are there multiple penalties by one skater, and would that result in a yellow card?
We did see some last week where 2 incidents in one race resulted in a yellow card. And so if there are multiple advancements or what have you, then we are really looking at overloaded semifinal heats. There's incident 1. Here's incident 2.
Well, that was a fun race to watch, I know.
Yeah, not bad.
Getting some good action in these repechage.
Chance for the officials to get warmed up ahead of the big World Tour session this afternoon.
So before the break, we kind of mentioned, yeah, we've been making up some pretty good time. That's why we're getting a longer...
famous last words.
longer break, between start times. Well, now we've gone the other direction.
I'm not a superstitious person, so I'm not blaming you in any stretch, because I know just how unpredictable this sport is. Still looking at video board number 1.
Oh, how many coaches do we have staring down at the replay jumbotron right now?
On that side of the ice there. And they're punching in some results, and it looks like we might be getting things sorted out. Even that process might take a little bit, where there's various incidents to go through. And so I think he's done.
Well, the skaters will be waiting anxiously to see the determination of their fates.
Now they've gone back to video board number 1. One of our longer delays over the entire 2 weekends here.
Well, I think we can expect that we're going to see likely more than one penalty in this race, and potentially
multiple advancements.
Some advancements. That's right.
That means those semifinals this afternoon are going to be. Well, it's going to be a lot of traffic on the ice anyway.
Yeah.
With Zach Delat's incident, there was that bump, but he almost got halfway through the corner before he ultimately spilled out. Might that factor in? Okay, now more results being punched in. Meanwhile, the other semifinal skaters are out on the ice. 7 skaters as well, all vying for 1 spot.
Well, this delay kind of starts to impact them a little bit, as they were expecting to be on racing about 7 minutes ago.
Here we go, down to the ice.
After a review, we give 2 penalties. First one, 40 from Italy, and the number 39 from Poland. And we advance number 97 for Turkey, and skater number 23 from Netherlands.
So there you have it. Pigeon and Natalini both penalized. Itzhak Delat, Mohamed Bozdag both advanced. And by virtue of finishing in 2nd place with the penalization ahead of him, Niall Tracy is the race winner. And we'll move on to the semis this afternoon. And we'll go through all of the rulings here, but that was a lot.
It was a lot.
Here's number 1, outside to in lane change. Natalini led to that bump there on Bozdag. And then Pigeon's bump on Delat, failure to give way, setting that chain of events in motion.
So those are both the penalties as well as the skaters who were being advanced.
Right. And the last incident with Iwasa Dan going out was not a second penalized event, because that would have been on Pigeon as well. So just the penalization, no yellow card for him. There we go. 2nd heat. Quentin Vercock, Nathan Thomas, Sun Long, Lucas Beckenhauser, Adil Galiakhmatov, Miata Shogo, and Frey Van Damme, the junior skater from the Belgian Ice Bears.
Go to the start. Position 7, director line 6. Ready.
If we are to go exclusively on ranking, Lucas Beckenhauser is the lowest ranked skater in the field, but the last race just proved we could also possibly just throw that all out the window completely.
And of course, Sun Long, whose world rank isn't quite as high as his world title, being the reigning world champion in the 1500 meter.
Oh, and it's Vercock, man with the top end speed, going off on a bit of a flyer. I think he knows where his specialty lies, and he's seeing if he can't hold them off a little bit.
Well, this is fun to see. We haven't seen too many, we saw Bergen earlier in the start of the repechage of the 1500 making an attack like this, but Vercock is really getting after 8.3 second lap there. He is not holding back. That's quick times, 8.5. The field, if you're the skater leading the pack, you don't want to react, because you don't want to do all the work for this group to get back in the race. But Speckenhauser knows, okay, guys, only one of us is getting through. We have to do something here. We can't let him go, but you got to manage it.
Just like in cycling, where the peloton has to organize to catch a breakaway, they're having to organize now. Sun Long, I don't think he's flying right now. Vercock is still going.
Well, I think only now we're going to start to see them making headway, as Vercock has dropped to 9.7s, and we have the pack tracking at 9.3s, but there's some work to be done still in this race.
Vercock is visibly fatiguing. He's down inside 5 to go. He's gritting his teeth.
Well, we saw Vercock get down to 8.3 second laps. Now he's at 10.7. So you know what? I think he's going to get eaten up here, as there's still 4 laps to go.
You just see the pain all over his body. He makes it until 3 laps to go. We like the effort, but I think he knew his strength lay in his speed, as someone who's won World Cup medals before in the 500. But it's Adil Galiakhmatov on the front right now. Sun Long, Lucas Beckenhauser, and Miata Shogo.
Sun Long losing on his left foot there. That gives an opening for Speckenhauser to work on the outside, but Galiakhmatov is holding these guys off from the lead. Watch out, under a lot of pressure in the front.
It's Miata on the inside, Speckenhauser on the outside. Galiakhmatov down, and Miata goes through as the race win. I don't want to say he goes through. He won the race.
He did. Those 3, Miata, I think it was Speckenhauser, and we were all shoulder to shoulder on that one. What a finish, and Galiakhmatov, that's right. So, well, again, our officials have some work to do.
Going 3 wide on that final corner.
Hey, you know what? Thanks to Furcock for making some excitement out of that one.
He animated that one. Like I said, I think he knew, of course, his strength lying in the 500, that he wasn't going to be drawn into an endurance race as the speed progressively got higher. So you'll love it, throwing caution to the wind. Maybe refine it, maybe say, maybe I'll wait another lap or two in a slow race before exploding. But anyway, kudos to him. And then so long, there's the stumble that you spotted.
Yeah, that really just chewed up all the speed that Sung Long had. And when your legs are that tired, it's just so hard to regain it.
There's the incident. It just, I mean, 3 guys, 1 corner. It, odds are it wasn't going to end well with so many skaters in that close of a contact range. Let's see what.
Well, you think Miata was incredibly tight on that entry of that last turn. I'm not sure if there's quite enough room. So that really put those 3 skaters, Miata, Galyakhmatov, and Speckenhauser, shoulder to shoulder on the exit. And it was kind of just a bumping out effect in which Galyakhmatov was just sandwiched between those 2 guys and just losing his footing.
They're also looking at earlier, there was a move of Speckenhauser on Van Dam that's also getting a look as maybe a possible late move. So after a lot of clean racing this morning, all the pressure on these repechage semifinals have created some dramatic affairs. Three going around, Sun Long waiting right behind, and such a small area for 3 guys. And Galyakhmatov just looks like he might have just lost the boot there. And Speckenhauser, an unfortunate bystander. And the 1,000-meter women's repechage semifinal skaters starting to come out onto the ice right now. It looks like we might have a ruling. And if there are any more advancements, those 1,500 semifinals this afternoon will be more must-see viewing than they even are right now.
We'll be in for a treat, that's for sure. Well, more skaters means more action, more passing, more things to unfold.
And then these are they'll chuck in the top-ranked skaters this afternoon for,
yep,
could be a wild encounter, down to get those results.
After a review, we give a penalty for number 12 from Italy. We have an advancement for skater 118 from Belgium. And we have a shared responsibility between number 46 from Japan and number 34 from Kazakhstan.
And there you have it. So the earlier bump, Speckenhauser, pardon me, penalized. Frey Van Dam, the junior on his debut, advancing into the semifinals this afternoon, and then shared responsibility. And, you know, the gut on that was 3 guys going around the corner. It felt like a shared responsibility situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially nobody's trying a pass, nobody's trying a move. They're all just trying to hold their lines in that corner. Here's the first incident. It was Speckenhauser on that bump inside Scalia Fair to give way, and that forced Frey Van Dam out wide. And then here, it's everybody's just going for the line. Nobody even making a stride. It's all just skidding around the corner there.
Two footing on just being stable on that, saying, hey, nobody, let's try not to go down on this one.
And the women's repechage 1,000-meter semifinals now. Two heats, 5 skaters in each heat, 1 place available. There's Maya Somodi Dita Van Oorschot, Yamana Rina, Petra Yashapati, and Chloe Olivier.
So with this 1,000 meter is just going to heat up all the quicker than those 15s. But again, the same things apply where you want to strategically place yourself near the front of this race. You don't want to get caught back. Oorschot likes to race from the front. She's doing just that again.
She's the top-ranked skater in this field.
But again, she's got to be careful. She doesn't work too hard. She's doing a good job staying vigilant, looking around, checking over her shoulder, seeing who's looking to set up. Yamana now. Well, look at the inside. Oorschot shutting that down. We're getting close to here, and here goes Yashapati.
And we're going to see Van Oorschot later in the women's relay. The Dutch Lions have 4 women entered, and now it's Yashapati hitting the front. And Van Oorschot, having spent a lot of time and energy at the front, now has to chase and what's left in her legs.
I think Yashapati did a great job being patient on this one. Letting Oorschot kind of do the work in the front, and she's just biding her time, saying, hey, you know what, I know I got this.
Great timing.
Yeah, fantastic timing.
Great move from her. That gap is just too big, and so Petra Yashapati can dream of the quarterfinals in the women's 1,000 meters.
Well skated.
So that one did not have anything investigated. That was just a knockdown, drag-out race. Petra Yashapati with some good timing. So one more heat, and then they do resurface the ice again, and then we'll be getting into some 500 meters. Repechage quarterfinals coming up after the next ice resurface. Then an ice resurface and repechage semifinals in the 500 meters, and then some mixed relay semis as well. And so there you have it, Yashapati getting that coveted qualifying spot to this afternoon's, or the later action in the quarterfinals. Heat number 2, another 5 skaters, Nakashima Mide of the Japanese Ninjas, Valentina Askic of the Croatian Dalmatians, Hirai Ami also of the Ninjas. The teammates paired up again. This time there's only one place available. Natalia Malashevska and Zofia Konya of the Hussars and Falcons, respectively. Ninja's teammates really turned the screws early on, that sharing the workload at the front that nobody could match, but now with one spot on the line, all bets are off.
Absolutely, this is, hey, best skater, may the best skater take it on this one here. And don't ask me to make a prediction, because this race could go to any skater. I think we're in for a good, heated battle to the finish.
Hidai on the front, Askic in second. Also keep an eye out for Malashevska. When will she turn on the afterburners?
Well, we know Malashevska's got speed. She's going to stay patient, try to save those legs, maybe let the other skaters in front of her kind of bump it out, and then, you know, try to shake it out and look for an opportunity to strike late in this race. But here we have Askic getting to the front.
Going around Hidai, it is the Croatian Dalmatian, Zofia Konya, skating a good race up into second. She just ramp up the speed to line up a possible move. It's Askic with 3 to go. Malashevska still sitting on the back. A long way to go.
Askic has got to hold the pace on this race. She's doing a lot of work from the front. Can she hold it off with 1 to go? Let's watch and find out.
See the pain starting to seep into her face. Konya perhaps lining up a move. Askic trying to defend. Konya taking a look on the inside, and Askic is down.
Wow. And then Hidai capitalizing at the finish after that infraction between those two skaters. We're going to have a review. Askic did a great job leading this race. She put that work into control from the front, and that's hard on the legs. You just get a little bump from behind going to the last corner, and you just can't hold that anymore.
It was visibly fatiguing, fighting tooth and nail to hold off the field, skating defensively to just try to make it to the line, and that little bump. We'll see how that gets a look. There is Askic. Here's Kanya trying to make the move, and just look at the pain.
Just not enough.
And Askic then down. Not sure how much contact there actually was, but I know it's Hidai who jumps up, ever the opportunist.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't take much, just if that arm gets up on you and sets your weight off balance.
Punching in some results. There is, oh, we're just going to throw it down to ice level for the ruling.
After a review, we gave a penalty to number 40 from Hungary, and we have an advancement for number 54 from Croatia.
And so there you have it. On contact from behind, Kanya gets the penalty, and Askic, the pain was worth it in the end.
Yep. And again, that was the little contact we saw from behind from Kanya, just getting her arm up a little bit on Askic, just setting her back and putting her down.
And of course, the whole complexion of a 1,000-meter chase changes this afternoon when instead of one place automatic, you're chasing perhaps 2 or 3. And so here's the move, lane change inside to out. And that was all it took for Askic to be sent careening into the boards, but she'll get a smile on that face right now into the quarters. Yashapati and Hidai as the race winners. Askic advancing through thanks to the penalty, and so the lights will go down. They're gonna do a quick resurface of the ice. Those are qualifiers, and we'll be back for some 500 meters after the break.
Now, in addition to being the first stop on the ISU short track speed skating world tour, the Warriors are showing arena very much the home of the Canadian team. Now, Keller, behind us is the Canadian dressing room. Now, what makes this unique in the world of international short track?
Well, this is such a special dressing room. This is not what you see in every arena for every team. And so what they've done here is really incredible. The athletes really appreciate it, and it would just be great to give you guys a tour and behind-the-scenes look of what they have going on here. So as we enter the locker room here, the first thing we're going to see is the history. Canada has a deep history of Olympic champions, Olympic medalists. So they got the history dating back to the '92 Olympics, the first official Olympics of short track speed skating. So while the athletes are hanging around here, sharpening their skates, dialing their blades in for their races, they're also going to be reminded of the past, you know, and the glory behind them. So it's just great to have that as a reference to remember that they belong on this level, that they're here to compete and here to win. As their athletes are, you know, queuing up their equipment, getting ready again, they can review some of their practice sessions on the TV, they can review their races, and it's a great way to kind of see some highlights of what they've been doing and what things they may want to tweak and improve on. As we continue through the locker room, we have a great little lounge area here where the athletes can hang out after practice or before practice. Nice safe space, somewhere to just chill, somewhere to relax, and then even, you know, this weekend warming up with their bikes. As we go through here, we see the team motto on the wall, glass half full, reminding the athletes that they're fortunate to be in high performance sport and that they got to come in and fill that glass every day. Little coffee bar, snack bar, get what you need, hydrate. As we wrap up the tour here, we're going to come into the locker room. So this is where we're going to see the athletes suiting up before they come out for the races, getting their mindsets ready to hit that ice and ready to try to win.
Right inside here on this unique facility for the Canadian national team. At the first stop, the home of short track.
men's 500-meter repechage quarterfinals. 8 heats. Maximum first place skater from each race and a maximum of the 2 fastest second place skaters qualify for the repechage semifinal. It's a very quick turnaround for them. And for this one, we have a special guest analyst here. Tyler, your old hat now. We're joined by a member of the Canadian Ice Maples, Courtney Sarro. Courtney, welcome. I'm sure you'd rather be down there this weekend than up with us.
Yeah, but it is what it is, so I'm happy to be here.
We'll just get into the first race here quickly. Jungsun Wu, Asen Gyurov, Jordan Pierre-Gilles, Reynes Berzins, and Kwang Seun Min of the USA Eagles. And of course, Pierre-Gilles crashed out from a leading position in the heats, and that's why he's having to come through the repechage. And with 1 place available, no margin for error, gets into the front.
My headset's not. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
I think
Hi,
my
Tyler.
headset's coming in. Okay.
You're back.
So Courtney, Jordan Pierre-Gilles, a teammate of yours here.
Yeah.
What are his strengths? What's his strongest assets as a skater?
He definitely has a good start, a lot of power off the start, and he's able to build a lot of speed, so that's what he did there. And also really agile, which helps him a lot in these crazy 500s. He can kind of jump around and stay on his feet, so.
Absolutely.
Jungsun Wu making it close there, but it does look like Pierre-Gilles will go through as the race winner. So, Courtney, as we take this little break before moving into the second heat, where are you on your recovery? How are you feeling these days?
I'm feeling pretty good. It's obviously weird watching the competition and not being in it. It's definitely an interesting perspective, but you know, I'm happy, and every day I'm working and training and trying to get my strength back, and I'm excited to probably join in the Asia World Cup.
Okay.
So that's pretty good. But
So
yeah.
You're back on the ice now, you're skating.
Yes, exactly. I'm training, skating, getting stronger. Just yeah, watching from the sidelines for this one, but
Yep.
I'll be back hopefully stronger and better.
Does it provide you any sort of extra motivation, sort of being unable to compete on your home ice?
I think so. I think, I mean, the first weekend was really weird for me because it was the first time I think in like 7 years that I haven't done this competition and on the circuit.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I realized I've been skating for a while. But no, it's cool to see, actually. I find I can, from the outside, you can kind of see more things than when you're in it. So I'm going to take it as like a good thing to kind of just like see the skating and see what people do and try and maybe study it a little bit. I never do that as often as I should, so.
Kind of be a student of the racing.
Exactly.
And then, of course, we have a new format with the World Tour this year, so maybe it's an opportunity for you to kind of just watch how it plays out and then be mentally prepared going in for, you know, those Asian World Cups or World Tour events if you join in there.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I'm happy to watch, and I get to see a lot more things, so hopefully I'll be ready.
Quick fix of the ice there to get us set up for the second heat, featuring Lu Shaolin out of position 1. There's also Martin Kolench of the Dalmatians, Tobias Wolf of Austria, Itzhak Dalat back for more from the Dutch Lions, and Niall Tracy also back for more.
So Gavin, I'm guessing you covered this already, but it's the first place skater and then the maximum of the 2 fastest second place skaters, but we have 8 different heats here. So really those are most likely to go to advancements and unlikely to go to time. So Courtney, when you had advancement, it's nearly like a 1+2 with 8 heats. How does that, affect your mindset going into the race? How do you approach that?
When?
when you're going to the 500, like, hey, it's a 1+2 and there's 8 heats, so just win. That's the that's
1+1 always.
Win
1+0.
Yeah. Do you feel extra pressure in the race if you're not in that lead position to get there right away, or do you find you have patience to kind of wait and hang it out?
I don't know. I think I have trust issues, so I think I'm just like, let's take the win, and then I don't have to sit there on the side and pray that I get the plus. I've been in that situation a few times. It's not my favorite situation to be in, especially since there's a lot of advancements, and sometimes that just gets wiped out, right? So you are safe, but not really. If it's short track things that happen and advancements happen, so sometimes people have it and you think you're good, and then the advancement last race and you're done.
Right.
So I mean, you have to be careful. You can't go and make a stupid pass and knock everyone out. Pretty sure I've done that before too, but like, yeah, I think like that's just a little safety net, having the plus.
Right.
Tracy taking the spill there. Lou hanging on for a narrow victory over Itzhak Dalat. And Dalat now 42.259. You will have to watch and see how that holds up. You mentioned, Tyler, that there's always the risk of advancements in only 2 qualifiers, but we're clean through 2 races.
We're clean through 2. Itzhak Dalat, he's got that second qualifying time with a 42.25. I don't think that's quite going to cut it. We've been seeing a lot of low 40-second 500s right now. So I'd expect we'll see more low 41s, high 40 seconds in these Repechage quarterfinals of the 500 meters. So we'll keep an eye on that. But again, 6 more races to come here, lots more action.
As always, the ice repair is underway. Kim Tai-sung of the Korean White Tigers in the next one, Dan Koss of the Dutch Lions, Lorenzo Previtali of the Italian Gladiators, Zdenek Sepal of the Czech Ice Spiders, and Toprak Eroglu of the Turkish Anatolian Pars. See if they get through that first corner. Now, Courtney, you mentioned this is your first time in a number of years being sort of forced out of action. How tough was it coming to terms with that first realization that you're going to miss some racing?
I guess it was really tough. I think just weird because I'm never in that situation. I'm normally able to, even if I'm not feeling good, like do something, or so with a concussion, it's kind of like your brain, and you can't really mess with that.
Yeah.
And last year I was struggling a little bit, just not having as much legs and power. Ooh.
And it is Previtali and Koss going down. That will get another look. And oh my, one of the officials
oh my God,
just had to jump over Eroglu, who was spilling towards. I think he made the leap in time. Sorry, Courtney, we'll get back to you in a second. Lots to unpack there. Previtali is feeling it. He and Koss went down hard. I think Kim Tai-sung was above it all, winning that race. There is a review on that collision, and then I think the agility of our official jumping over.
Impressive, and the official looks all right. Most of the skaters looking okay. Previtali maybe in some discomfort right now.
Wonder if we got an angle of that shot, because I just caught it at the last second and it was a heck of a jump. So it'll be an incident into the last corner.
They need some helmets too.
Yeah. That might be the next edition of the World Tour is a helmet for all officials.
And so that's those two. Everybody gets their blades up and is fine.
Well, Repechage goes in quite awkwardly there with his kind of head down, head first into the mat, going backwards.
We didn't get that other angle, but anyway, you were saying, speaking of injuries,
Oh, yeah.
but everyone seems to be fine at least. But yeah, concussion is obviously something that you have to take the utmost care in handling.
Yeah, and it was a big one. I kind of wasn't realizing how big it was when it first happened. I knew I felt terrible, but I kind of just, as any athlete would do, try and push through and convince myself that I was fine.
Sometimes it's hard to accept the reality of the situation.
But yeah, there's not really a choice when you have a concussion. Something
After
that you can't
review,
really,
we give a yellow card behavior for number 105 from Italy, and we advance number 38 from Netherlands.
There it is, Koss moving on.
Repechage with a yellow card was the decision there. So yeah, dangerous behavior in passing. Still got to make sure that the athletes are playing fairly with each other on the ice.
so yeah, so that's the advancement there. So
yeah. So Dan Koss going through. Well, one thing, Courtney, I wonder, we see a lot of skaters who, as they're aging in the sport, they've been around for a few years. Someone like Ariana Fontana, who's been around for quite some time now, often just choosing to skip some World Cups and being comfortable with that, knowing that you got to give your body some rest, even if you don't have an injury. So I wonder if that's something through this experience that you'll kind of gain from and saying and realizing, what, I don't have to do everything. You know what, I can kind of pick and choose and manage that, racing workload.
Yeah, exactly. I think after last year, I probably should have taken more time off, just like during the year, but I'm too stubborn, so I just keep going. But definitely I wasn't feeling good, and I think a lot of people noticed that I wasn't really skating like myself. So I should have taken time for me, but my mentality is just to fight through everything, but it's not always the way to do it. And I know the Olympics are coming up soon, so I have to start prioritizing like my health and everything so that I can be 100% at that, because that's kind of the main goal and the main focus right now.
Well, it's definitely a difficult kind of mental shift when, as an athlete, you're always kind of trained to push yourself, take everything as a challenge, try to overcome it. And then, as you're saying, you're battling through training, pushing yourself every day, trying to be better, but it's not always, working in your favor when you got to take rest or you just got to take a break. You can't undervalue rest and recovery, but it's difficult for an athlete because it's kind of ingrained in your brain to always be pushing.
Yeah.
Here, Gavin, we'll kick it to you.
Thank you. Heat number 4, and as Courtney mentioned, there goes one of the second place finishes with that advancement. And so it's Vercoq, Cellier, Matsubayashi, Wareham, and Kumurjev really battling now for what will likely be one spot. Vercoq in more of his element. We saw him go off on a flyer in the 1500. This is more his wheelhouse. Cellier also has some dangerous speed as well, but as we've seen over the entire day, expect the unexpected.
Cellier had a very quick 500-meter yesterday. An unfortunate slip and ended up leaving him here in the repechage, so he's going to want to make amends for that, and he's moving quick out there. 8.3 lap time.
Vercoq sizing him up a little bit, coming up to the bell. Down goes Cellier again, and it's Vercoq who is off and away, and looks like he will take that. I think that was Cellier going down on his own.
Yeah, it looked like he just kind of got caught back on his heels. So, Courtney, you ever have any wipeouts like that where you're coming out of the corner, you just kind of get seated back too much and you just can't save it?
Yep, been there, been there.
What's kind of that feeling as you realize you're just sinking backwards and like, hey, I'm not able to get out of this?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's just so much force in the corner that as soon as your shoulders kind of do something that they shouldn't do, it's really, really hard for your core and everything to just like battle against that.
Yeah.
So yeah, after a certain point, you're kind of like, well, I'm going down. I know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think that's a great point. It's like as the shoulders come up and you're sitting back, you just can't pull it back down to regain control. At that point, you kind of know, you know it's over.
It's pretty,
So Vercoq, a medal winner here a year ago against to move into the repechage semifinals. And then it's a quick, I mean, it's they flood, and then they're back out again. Is this something that you might not have experienced so much, Courtney? The quick turnaround that we're noticing in these events these days.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the new format that's
some of the
doing
change
it.
with the format, the racing is just happening so much quicker.
Yeah.
I think we've seen some skaters have only upwards of 14, 15 minutes between 1,500 meter races or a mixed relay in a 1,500. So.
And into the fifth heat. Yashapati, Rosswoodell, Chismadia, Bendig, and Ka. Everybody in through that first corner. Maybe not.
So sometimes, there's jostling off the start. It doesn't always necessarily have to be a fall to be considered not a non-clean start. So that's what we're seeing here.
Quick check of the blades as well. Yeah, so what kind of notes are you maybe taking in the opportunity to learn about how you might be handling these quick turns? Because last week we had Thomas Natalini finishing an individual race and then staying on the ice for a mixed relay. Are you sort of saying, okay, this is a bit different, I'm going to have to tweak how I go through race prep or any of that?
I guess it just depends what I'm doing that day, because we have such a strong team that a lot of people can kind of skate everywhere, so maybe they'll put it so that it works more in our favor just because we can.
Balance the teams on the relays and
yeah.
go back to back. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm up for it.
Go to the start. Ready.
And this time we're clean.
Starting from position 1, yes.
Out of position 1, it's Yashapati. And then it is Kyle Rosswoodell of the Royals. But he's sandwiched between two of the Hungarian Falcons. And it looks like Chismadia may be eyeing up a move here. Looking on the inside. Not going to take it there, though. It really is a battle between those three right now. But at the moment, it's Yashapati off in front, trying to lead this one wire to wire. And I think he is going to do just that, barring any drama on that last corner. Of course, never say never, but he is safely through there.
Yeah, that was a cool collected race by Yashapati. So, Courtney, how much do you pay attention to the men's side of the short track racing?
Depends on the day.
Depends on the day, yeah. Obviously, you're paying attention to your competitors that you're racing against, right?
Yeah. I think I'm just more locked in to just myself and kind of my things, which is more I guess the girls' races and stuff, just seeing kind of where I'm gonna be in the next race and all that stuff. And I'm kind of focused so much on myself, I don't get much time to kind of sit back and enjoy. That's why I'm taking this, and I'm kind of sitting back and enjoying getting to watch the men and the women and see everything more from just being in the dressing room, kind of regrouping for my race. We're so busy, especially with the short time frame between the races now. We're just busy preparing ourselves and making sure that we're ready for our next race. So it's hard to, but obviously when people come in and they're smiling and have a good result, you can follow along just with that. So
once you're cleared to get back to it, what are you most excited to get back out doing? What are you looking forward to most?
I think I just love racing. I'm training, we're skating in circles and it's really, really hard on the legs, and it's so I think just the racing is why I love short track so much, is because, it's fun and it brings that adrenaline rush and stuff. So I'm just excited to have the adrenaline back.
Heat number 6, Daniel Fedorenko, Radek Ficus, Lucas McDonald, Jonas Hammermuller, and Liam O'Brien of the Irish Wolfhounds.
Ready.
And another look, Tyler, it's another field where it's everyone in the brand new kits for this season.
That's right, another look at it.
It's a good variety, too. And it's Ficus out in front. McDonald trying to close that gap. We'll come up and see 2 laps to go. McDonald right up there. Danilo Fedorenko also closing things up, and Liam O'Brien now trying to get around Hammermover and close that gap. He's running out of time though, so it's 3 guys. McDonald making the move on the inside, can't make it stick. And that opens the door for Fedorenko now to go up into second, but Ficus, nice job holding them off.
Well, first off, great skate by Ficus. McDonald looking for that inside pass a little bit later in the race. Not quite enough of a setup to get by. But see, I'm not sure if there's any reviews. I don't think I saw any yellow markers coming up, so I think that's going to be a clean race.
Good. 2 to go after this one, and still, I believe, 1 second place time is just hanging on.
Yeah, that's right. We only have 1 advancement thus far, and still it's from the first. It's Jang Sung Woo from the first heat with a 41.68. That's holding that time advancement position. So Courtney, before you came on, I had to jump on and say, okay, what? I've seen some of your career unfolding, and I've seen you on the World Championship podium. And then I pulled up the results just to go back and see how many times that. Do you know how many World Championship medals you've earned in your career? Is that a running tally?
Giving a trivia to herself.
I can tell you my answer is 0.
Well, we know that. That's the easy one.
Although I was the alternate at Team Pursuit that got us there, but I had to sit it out at Worlds and didn't get the medal. So that was tough.
Dang it.
Come on, no alternate medals today. Sorry.
Oh, I know, right?
So what is your number? Do you have a running tally? Do you know? The fact that you have to think this long is just.
No.
It means she's humble.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, how much world champion, like 3 maybe? 4?
Well, I think you got to count the team ones as well.
Oh, okay, maybe more than, okay. I don't know.
She wasn't here to be challenged here, Tyler.
Yeah. Well, I think you got about 6 senior. Here we are. We'll let the race get underway, and then we'll cover that.
That should have that answer ready to go. 4 skaters in this heat. Rostislav Leontenko leading the way. It's Yang Chen-Rui of the Hong Kong Ice Chilins. Also here, Yokoyama Hiroki and Nico Anderman of Austria. And it's Rostislav Leontenko. There's a bump there, and Yang goes down. He went in on Yokoyama and came off the lesser of it. It is Leontenko still in charge. Anderman closing it up a little bit. They'll get the bell. And we'll see what Leontenko has left in the tank. Anderman sizing up a move, trying to get there on the last lap. Looking the inside. Can he make it stick? Oh, he can. Nicely done from him.
Well, Courtney, so that you know going forward, in case anyone asks you, you have 7 World Championship medals plus an overall silver.
Wow.
So we could kind of count that as 8, I think. Did you get a medal for the overall silver? I'm not sure if they would. You just
I think
get
so.
The ranking you did?
I think we did maybe get a medal for overall as well.
So
yeah.
Of course, that's the old World Championship format before the new format, in which we don't have the overall champions anymore.
Yeah.
However, so that's 8, and that's just senior. Now, if you look at your junior championships, you have another 3 there.
Nice. Peeking.
So now you know.
Wow, okay.
And now our viewers know as well. You know?
Hopefully I can add some more in the future.
That's right.
And there is that one incident being reviewed where Yang Chen-Rui went down. They're still at the first video boards. And then we'll go to the second, punch in the results, come out and make an announcement to us here. One more heat to come.
So how many World Cup last quiz. How many World Cup gold medals between individual and relay?
Oh my goodness.
Just gold.
World Cup?
Yeah.
I know for sure I have 3 individual World Cup golds, but I don't know if I and like 3 or 4 for the relay.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with the relays.
7. Oh.
Yeah. But 2,000 meter individual World Cup gold and a 1,500 meters, so pretty good.
This is your life. Were you prepared for this coming in?
This one was fun. The double gold.
On the same weekend?
Yeah, on the same weekend. I was feeling myself that weekend.
Yeah. So, well, but, you know, let's talk about that. When you have a weekend, I sparingly had those weekends where you go and you just feel on top of the world. Like, how is that feeling?
It's pretty good.
Do you know going in? Is it just like, yeah, got it?
Well, that travel is actually terrible. Like getting there and the jet lag and everything. Like, but I think I might thrive.
Yeah.
When we all feel a little bit bad, I'm like, all right, I can do this one.
Yeah, so just mentally it pushes you over to like, kind of like get extra focus when you know you're not feeling maybe 100%.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember just everything feeling like pretty good, like blades and like just like my body felt strong, and I knew like after the first day, like I was feeling pretty good and like pretty dominant that I could battle with the competition for another one. So,
well, it's kind of the you've put in all the work, right? And it's the reward at the end of having put in all that effort and all that time, and then. And I can't imagine, but when you're going on the line feeling like that, you're kind of looking at your competitors saying, hey, like, just sizing them up, like, yeah, I got this.
Yeah. I think I didn't enjoy it as much as I should have, because it was, for me, I just expected it.
Yeah.
And I just knew in my soul that I wanted to win, and I don't know, I just, in my head, it was like, I'm like, I should win. I want to win. And I was kind of taking the golds and stuff a bit for granted in a way.
Does that maybe then slowing things down with this injury now allow you maybe to take a bit of a different perspective that once you're healthy and going back, that you can appreciate it a bit more?
And last year, not performing at my best kind of made me realize, like, okay, like, enjoy, like, your wins. And, like, I think I was taking it more as like a relief that I was winning. Like I could like breathe for like 3 seconds.
Looks like we're going down for an announcement on the ice.
After a review, we give a penalty for number 64 from Japan, and we advance skater 120 from Hong Kong, China.
There you go. Yokoyama penalized for that incident in the corner. Yang Cheng-ri moving on, along with Rostislav Leontenko. And so not much time to rest for these two. Sorry.
So now.
So there's both our advancements. That's
There it is. You're right. Thank you.
See, I told you guys.
Don't
trust it.
It's better to just win a race. There you have it. Outside skater not giving space, and they're moving on to the last heat here. Oleg Honde, Peter Grossklos, Enzo Prost, and Lin Chun-Chie. Oleg Honde, always a very busy man, it seems, but Grossklos, he's turned a few heads this weekend with some good skating.
Quarterfinals taking the lead is Oleg Honde from the Emmanuel Gatsoit.
3 to go. Honde really pouring things on. You feel Grossklos has to move up into second so that he can really try to close things down. There is a bump there that will be reviewed, but Honde might have too much of an advantage coming up to the bell. Prost right up behind Grossklos, and Honde looking like he might take this one. And he will, in fact, hang on. That result, the review has been cleared, and so I think those results will stand. But it is looking like it's just a couple of advancements and the race winners.
Get the official on this, and then we see who is continuing on. Now, Courtney, kind of going back to what we were just talking about, finding the joy in those moments and not taking it for granted. Maybe that's something as you're getting on in your years as a skater that you're learning. I can't tell you how many skaters I've heard tell me that. I've said that countless times. I just take it for granted. how special it is that you're traveling the world, pursuing a dream, doing the thing that you love, but you know, you're in the competition, you just feel pressure to get results, you feel pressure on yourself, you know, and as you should, you want to be there because you feel a lot of support, but I think learning to take that for granted is something that a lot of athletes fail to do.
Yeah, with the pressure and the stress, sometimes we forget to just like look up and like appreciate also like how far we've come and like what we're doing and all the effort and time we put into this sport. So yes, we all want perfection, we all want good results, but there's so much more than just like results to this sport. And when you do get them, and that means like you're on top of your game, and you need to enjoy those moments and really like be proud of yourself. And I think sometimes I was proud of myself because it feels good, but right after I was like, all right, now I gotta do it again, and I gotta do it again. And then like it just built this like pressure and stress, and it started becoming, sport wasn't as fun anymore because of all the pressure I was putting on myself, which means if you're not having fun, the results kind of drop as well.
Sometimes they say skaters feel we're only as good as our last race, and you're always searching for that next one. Gavin, we'll kick it to you.
Yeah, we have a break. Are you going to stick around with us for another bit more, Courtney? Or are you?
I can stick around.
Cool. Well, we are heading into an ice resurface. We're going to be back for the final bit of racing. That will be the men's 500-meter repechage semifinals, and then the mixed relay semis. So you'll get to see your teammates in action. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back with Courtney Sarrault in just a little bit.
Commanditaires et partenaires de l'événement, thanks to all of our sponsors and partners for the event. Part 2 of the ISU Short Track World Tour here in Montreal. Once again, big thank you to all the volunteers. Merci à tous les bénévoles présents hier et aujourd'hui pour la tenue de l'événement. Deuxième étape du circuit mondial pour de piste ISU.
Goes for the Gladiators.
at the Maurice Richard Arena men's 500-meter repechage semifinals. 2 heats of 5 skaters. Just the winner in each moving on. Courtney Sarrault is with us now. Courtney, going through this first heat, Jordan Pierre-Gilles, Oleg Hande, Liu Shaolin, Radek Faikus, and Yang Chenri. You pointed to the screen and said, this is the one to watch. What are you going to watch for here?
This is definitely going to be a crazy one. Obviously, I have to root for my fellow teammate.
Fellow Ice Maple?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm a little bit biased here, but he's lane 1, so I'm sure he's going to come off the start pretty strong and just control the race from that aspect. I think there is going to be a lot of stuff going on in the back, which is actually going to benefit Joe as well, because if there's more chaos in the back and he can just get a clean start, and that should be better for him, but we'll see. You never know in short track. There could be like a 3-1 late pass, you know.
Well, that adds up to me, so we'll wait to see what happens here.
Tyler, you're excused. There you have it. There's the start list. An Ice Maple, a Wildcat, Lung, Ice Spider, and an Ice Chilin. And yeah, the mad dash off the gun to be that first into the corner, ever more important. Hyundai, we know, is a good starter. Liu, well, what more to say about him? But yeah, they're position 1 right number there. Jordan Pierre-Gilles, he's shown just keep the skates on the ice and it's usually good enough. Hold your breath through that first corner. Hyundai got a bump. They are not bringing that one back, and that's to the benefit of Jordan Pierre-Gilles, who's now got a chance to skate off a little bit into the distance.
Huge benefit to Jordan Pierre-Gilles there. Tying up the skaters behind him. Let's keep an eye on Liu Shaolin.
That's what you were mentioning, Courtney, has all the stuff going on behind him, and he's taking that opportunity.
Yeah, just got to be smooth now.
So how much pressure do you feel at the front? Are you trying to get it? Are you just trying to control it?
I mean, I'm not really a 500-meter girl, let's be honest here, but I would love to eventually be a 500-meter girl, and I think that first lap is like crucial in the 500-meter, and that's something that I need to develop, and then from there trying to hold a top speed for as long as possible. But yeah, that first lap is so the power off the start and being able to develop and accelerate really fast.
And that's what Jordan Pierre-Gilles has, right? The power off the line, just showing us right there, getting a replay of it.
That incident there, it slowed down Hyundai, it bottled up Liu as well, and Pierre-Gilles managed to take that and run with it. And then, as I mentioned, keeping the skates down, and he will be into the quarterfinals this afternoon. Nothing getting a review there.
And talking about that first lap, Courtney, how important it is with that 1+0 advancement here. It's critical to get off to a good start. You know, that's why we're seeing this bumping going on. But the skaters, they can't give an inch. And, you know, when you're on the start line in the 500, even if you're not always doing them, how intent are you on being like, I'm going to be the first one no matter what? Like, I don't care. Like, how aggressive do you get?
Yeah, I mean, everyone has the same thing in mind. I don't know if I know someone that was like, I'm going to do a 500 and start like 5th. I'm just going to like chill and like,
attitude.
Yeah, I think everyone wants that first spot. They want that clear route and they want to be free from the chaos that's about to go down. So everyone's very aggressive on the line, so you kind of just have to like also know that that's going to happen, and you need to be aggressive yourself and try and just push as hard as you can to try and be first or second, of course, and then from there just gauge your speed at the right time as well. There is some, you can, if you want to time, but you can play a little bit in the 500 if you have the luxury of, you know, gauging your speed if you're in the front. Oh, maybe I'll go a little bit less so everyone can clump behind me and then I'll accelerate, you know?
Right, so that's a strategy from the front, is playing with your speed to cause the skaters behind you to kind of jam up and then get stuck together so you can re-accelerate out.
Exactly.
I'm not sure what the delay is here.
Did we go through the start list yet, Gavin?
We have not, because I didn't see the results from the last ones confirmed just yet, but it's still listed as unofficial. Maybe that's what they're waiting on, because... Well, there we go anyway. This might be both at the same time. There we go, just moving right along. Kim Tai-sung, Quentin Vercock, Peter Yashapati, Nico Anderman, and Dan Koss. This one, a little bit tougher to handicap.
Go to the start. Ready.
Kim and Vercock are right behind each other in the world rankings, 17th and 18th respectively.
So that's a bit of the speed control, Courtney.
Exactly. So he didn't gun it right off, so he's trying to get them to fight a little bit.
Jam them up.
Yeah.
There's Kim in front, Vercock closing right up. When does he make the moves? He's looking.
But now second place has a lot of room. He can go wide and maybe do a better track. So yeah, exactly.
There you have it.
Vercock had no pressure behind him there because I got to third.
That's the bell. It's Quentin Vercock making the move, and it looks like he will glide into the quarterfinals this afternoon.
Kim Tai-sung kind of was struggling there off all the exits. I don't know, a few slip-ups from him. He might be checking the blaze afterwards. Now, talking about being aggressive, how do you rate yourself, Courtney, as in terms of on a scale of 1 to 10 or aggressive skaters? Where do you feel you stand? I know this is why I didn't succeed in short track, was I was not aggressive enough. Like, I didn't get the elbows out. Where do you stand on that?
I think some people would agree that I'm pretty aggressive. Yeah. I mean, I'm a taller, bigger girl too. Like, I kind of take my place, as I should. Yeah. But actually, I find myself less aggressive in the 500 meter, which is crazy because I need to be more aggressive. But I think it's not like my safe space, so I don't really. Like, I know that I need to throw some more elbows off the start, but I don't. I kind of just, like, wait, or I'm more, like, hesitating.
Yep.
But, like, in the 1,000 and the 15, like, I want my place, and I want it
right
now.
Yeah, you feel like it's yours.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, more in those distances than the 500 meter. I'm just more confident in those two, which helps with everything.
Yeah. Results confirmed. Moving into the quarters, the relay teams are out, including your Ice Maples mates. Courtney, there's the Dutch Lions, the Ice Maples, the American Eagles, the USA Eagles, and the Kazakh Nomads. Now, you mentioned, Courtney, you like the longer distance stuff. Does that mean you would prefer the women's relay to the mixed relay? Because this is sort of an all-out sprint for everybody.
I actually quite like the mixed relay. It's really, like, the adrenaline's going, and I wish I could start faster so I could get the push from the guy, because I think that's so fun. But, yeah, I'm normally always second.
So it's Michelle Velzebor for the Lions, Kim Boutin for the Ice Maples. Her traditional fast start, Corin Stoddart of the Eagles, and Yana Khan for the Nomads. Now Stoddart will be, as she always does, tapping in Kristen Santos Griswold, celebrating a birthday today. Last week we had Hannah Desmet celebrating.
So as you mentioned, Courtney, teams will generally pick their fastest starter to start the mixed relay because it's such a short event. You got that speed going right away. It's so critical to win that start.
Yeah.
And it's Sandra Velzebor in right now, and it's the big three at the front, the Maples, the Eagles, and the Lions. The Nomads trying to stay in there. It's Felix Roussel and Shinky Connect leading the way right now.
Nice speed track by Felix Roussel, just going so wide there, carrying it out.
This is a pretty tough race, actually. I think the 3 teams will be pretty bunched together.
For a semifinal, yeah, very difficult.
And it's Dubois in, Andrew Hyo and Jens Van het Wout in for the Lions. And yeah, 3 line astern right now.
So we're coming up to that push you were talking about earlier, Courtney, where the men are going to push the female. Well, we got a pass going into the exchange here.
They have to pay attention, make sure they're all in the right order. There you go.
So how does that corner feel off of that push?
Fast. Yeah, you gotta feel good on your blades and in your body to hit that curve, because we're taking some of the men's speed. But actually, that was a really good push from Kim to get Canada in front. Oh.
And it's Sandra Velsberg taking it right back.
Oh, Lawrence slipping on the exit.
All right.
Coming into 4 laps to go, so the home stretch now. Last 2 skaters.
Top 2 moving on.
What a tight race we have. Brandon Kim looking up the inside. No, nothing there.
Shiki Connect leading the way. One more exchange coming. How does this finish, Courtney?
I'm holding my breath right now.
Okay, don't forget to breathe.
Oh, there we go, there we go. Yep.
Great exchange by the Ice Maples.
Van het Wout pushing it up the inside. At the bow. Hyo sniffing around to the Ice Maple spot.
Super defensive track there by Dubois. He realized he's got to defend second now.
Yeah.
And they do that.
That's Courtney clapping. We are...
That is... She's still a member of the team, obviously, so...
Sorry, guys.
Oh, all good.
It's good. You can cheer on your teammates.
That's the only time I'm gonna be. Any other race, I'm just fair play for everyone.
It's nice to see all these people coming around saying hi to you. Nice to see all these familiar faces too that you may not have seen. Were you here last weekend too?
No, I actually had a exam on Sunday, which should be illegal, but yeah. So I was studying for that, and yeah, pretty tough one. So I wasn't.
The helmets are back out.
Kim Gilly is wearing the helmet again today.
It's maybe just a qualifying day. She goes with the normal helmet.
Why did you guys think that the helmets were off again?
So yesterday, Kim Gilly and Park Ji-won didn't wear their Crystal Globe champion helmets yesterday. So we were trying to speculate as to why they might not be wearing them, but now they're wearing them again today. So they're waiting for the big show. I don't know.
I guess so. Yeah, it might just be a qualifying day thing. They go through, and I don't think anything was reviewed on that, and so I think it will be. There you go. There are the results. Lions and Ice Maples in the A final. Eagles and Nomads into the B final. This one is also going to be interesting. We have the White Tigers, the Chinese Lungs, the Japanese Ninjas, and the Belgian, I'm blanking, Ice Bears. Sorry.
There we go.
Thought I had them down.
Go to the start. Ready.
Oh, stumble off the line, and they are bringing that one back.
Yeah, those ones, the first few steps, normally they call those ones back. When you get to the first block, then you're not sure anymore.
Okay.
But the first few steps normally. But I've seen sometimes they just don't.
Well, it's in like the 500 meters. Sometimes you see no contact at all, and they just...
Just toe in on their own.
Yeah. I think for something like a relay, they're a bit more nice
lenient
about that. Yeah.
So, can't tell right now if she's actually changing a blade at this moment, but have you ever gone through that, Courtney, where you clash skates, you have to go over and you change a complete blade?
Yes, a lot, like lots of times.
Lots of times?
Actually. Yeah.
So, all the blades feel a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, everyone says that it should be the exact same, but there's always, everyone has a pair that they love a little bit more than all the rest.
I love this pair.
Yeah, a little attachment, special attachment to one pair.
Yeah.
I do, maybe I'm just crazy.
So when you have to switch like that, does that kind of get in your head knowing that, oh, this is a different blade?
Yeah, for like 3 seconds, then you gotta switch it off and be like, all right, we go.
Take 2. Part of this Dutch team with the 2 women entered. They always know they're going to do the mixed relay. Tineke den Dulk leading things off for them.
Silver medalist in this event last weekend, 8 at the last World Championship, facing the Chinese long to 6th. Last weekend,
It will be Kim Gi Lee coming in just a moment for the White Tigers.
What's so great about the mixed relay is just the action just happens immediately. Like, we're already starting at 18 to go. So in some of the other events, we're kind of waiting for the laps to chip away, right? We're just you're just thrown into the action. There's no holding back right from the gun.
Ooh, tight inside pass.
Makes it stick.
Kim Gi Lee finds a way to make those ones work.
Yeah, really good.
The Ice Bears pressed up there. It's still everybody together right now.
Sung Long for the lungs right now.
Shaping up for the last exchange of the first round. This thing just zips on through. Still haven't seen Park Ji-won in relay action this weekend. They did the qualifiers for the quarterfinals for the men yesterday, and he didn't race either.
Well, interesting. This is Kim Gung-woo, number 4 here, not wearing the gold helmet today. So now we got another helmet swap.
I thought I recognized the number, but then something hit and went, wait, shouldn't that be gold?
Some helmet tactics going on that we're not aware of.
Is there any story behind helmet selection, Courtney?
I didn't have the luxury to have that number 1 helmet, so I don't really know.
6 laps to go here.
You see some of the personalized designs. Is that something you're ever going to take a stab at?
I did actually one year have the personalized design.
Just Smith on the inside. That's a tight move.
Makes it stick. I don't see the yellow dot up just yet.
That's a big move for the Belgian Ice Bears. They need that second place right now to try to hold it, but the Lungs coming right back. Sun Long moving into second, tracking down the White Tigers.
One more exchange coming. It will be Stan de Smet coming in a familiar position. They do like to chase there, and it is Kim Gun-woo off the front, tightening back up at the front.
Lin Zhaojun tracking him down in second for the inside.
Lin makes the move. De Smet trying to close up. Oh, and Lin is down. Kim Gun-woo, Stan de Smet. 1, 2, Kim is down. And the Ninjas are over the line in second.
My goodness. That, one lap, like all the drama that unfolds. I'm deaf now thanks to Courtney, I think.
My microphone sounds real loud.
And Lin is remaining down.
Oh, grabbing the shoulder.
That was a hard tumble. On the
maybe an injury.
So you just keep skating. And so the Ninjas and Ice Bears.
Well, when you're going to the boards that quickly, the collarbone is something that can certainly take a hit. He's grabbing that shoulder right now. I believe Felix Roussel last year at Worlds kind of had a practice crash that sent him out of the World Champs. And I think it was a collarbone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to recall now.
That or I think it was collarbone.
Yeah. Or shoulder maybe.
Yeah, shoulder. I think something was totally, or maybe his elbow.
Here's another look. Lin Zhaojun really getting defensive, wide entry there.
Yeah.
But just over leaning on that left and loses his footing. But then let's keep an eye. Kim Gun-woo, last corner. Ice just breaking out.
Yeah. We did practice yesterday after the whole competition, and the ice was just, it went through some stuff. But I mean, it was a whole day of competing, so obviously the ice conditions get worse.
We could tell at the end they were, it was a struggle to keep it going. They were doing their utmost to keep it going. But that was after you mentioned the full day of qualifiers.
It's just, But I would think that the ice would be a bit better this morning with the night.
Right, normally it has the evening to cool down, kind of reset.
It's cooled down outside too. It actually feels like fall now. I don't know if that might impact anything on how the air circulates or what have you, but so yeah, as you pointed out, he just overleaned. He's almost sideways even entering the corner.
So we have a review going on right now with the officials.
Was a really good pass, though.
And they're actually bringing out a wheelchair for Lynn. And if you watch a lot of cycling, you know the trademark grab of the right around the neck to indicate a possible collarbone. We'll keep an eye out for that. But you mentioned shoulder, also a possibility.
Yeah, the fact that they're not bringing a stretcher out is a good sign for the neck.
Oh, for sure. So there you have it. Belgian.
Well, something we've been talking about is the Team Crystal Globe.
Is that okay? So he's skating off.
He's skating
Looks like they've put a little sling around him, and so
like shoulder.
Yeah. Sorry, you were talking about the Team Crystal Globe. This will bring a shake-up.
Team Crystal Globe, right? This really changes the shape of the A final and the teams that are going to go going after those top points. So there's going to be some changes because the mixed relay and the relays are triple points for the Team Crystal Globe. So those points go a long way. So not having the Chinese lungs in that race, we have the Dutch Lions, we have Canada, but we're missing the White Tigers and the Chinese lungs, right? So two dominant teams. That's going to put them back in the standings.
Chance to pad the stats, and so that will be still to come. You see the qualifiers for the A final and the B final, and so that will also add the pressure on the likes of the White Tigers to win that B final and get maximum points. Well, that's it. That's the morning.
That was great. Well, thank you, Courtney, for joining us. That was awesome to have you out here.
Thank you for having me.
Best of luck to you in recovery. We look forward to seeing you back down there.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
I
next
hope
time,
so.
not up here, down there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
At least for a couple more years.
Yeah, exactly. And so it looks like it's an hour and a half until the next round. Keep an eye out if you're looking online on the ISU YouTube channel for the link. It's a different link to watch the races. But either way, signing off for now. We'll be back with you for the World Tour session. On behalf of Tyler Dara, Courtney Sereau, and the entire crew putting this all together, I'm Gavin Day. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.
And see you for the action starting at 1:32.